Hello! Second Facebook Live for the day. But I wanted just to talk about something really quickly because I had my Unstoppable You for the older girls tonight. And there was a lot of stuff that came up, and I thought it was important to just kind of talk about why it's so important for your daughter to feel her feelings and like all of them. Because we were doing something in Unstoppable You tonight it was about forgiveness, doing forgiveness work. And, I was explaining like, what is forgiveness? Like a lot of people think that forgiveness is about, if we forgive someone, then we're saying that whatever they did to us is okay. Like we're condoning it. And it's not that at all. Like when we drop into forgiveness, we're really saying like, I'm not allowing this, like I'm not going to hold on to this anymore. I'm willing to let this go. And I know for a lot of people, a lot of girls, they don't understand fully what forgiveness is, or they're not really willing to do the forgiveness work. And forgiveness is such an important piece of our healing, because when we can drop into forgiveness, and let me be clear, when I talk about forgiveness, we can forgive other people for what they've done to us, but then also what's so important is forgiving ourselves for what? For beating ourselves up. Maybe we've been mean to ourselves. And so maybe your daughter needs to just drop into some forgiveness, some self-forgiveness about how she's been treating herself. That is so important. When I was getting my my master's in spiritual psychology, I swear, like I learned so much about forgiveness work there, and they had us do like so much work around it because it's so important. It's so important that if your daughter wants to live her best life, she's got to be willing to forgive herself for what she's holding on to that no longer serves her. And so sometimes when I'm going about my day, sometimes I will drop into forgiveness and I'll say, like, let's say maybe I'm judging myself, and I'll say to myself, I forgive myself for judging myself. Like the truth is, and then I'll follow it up with like a truth statement. It's so important. And I think like so many people don't know what kind of goes on behind the scenes when we do this forgiveness work. It opens up so much space within ourselves. It opens up so much in our heart for us to receive, for us to love, for us to like live our best lives. And so this is why I find it so important that I teach the girls that I work with, whether it's privately or in group coaching like Unstoppable You, what forgiveness work is, why it's so important, and for them to have the experience of forgiving themselves and perhaps forgiving other people, right? And so we did this forgiveness work tonight in Unstoppable You, and it was really interesting because a couple of the girls, we were dropping into doing the forgiveness work, and a couple of girls asked me, two of the girls asked me, is it okay if some other emotions come up? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they said, well, some anger is coming up for me right now. And I said, yeah. Oops, sorry, that's Annabelle. I said, yeah, if some other emotions are coming up, great, like work with it. And this is why it's so important for your daughter to feel all of her feelings, right? Because here's the deal, like it was my intention, we were going to go into this thing and we were going to do the forgiveness work, but for some of the other girls, when they dropped into forgiveness, they realized that, oh my God, I am still holding on to all of this anger towards either myself, themselves, or someone else that did something to them. But how would they even know this if they weren't doing this work to begin with? That is why I will say this, like, I will say this every day, all day long. Like, the healing work is so important. This is the way, this is the path for your daughter to live her best life. She's got to do this healing work. So when a couple of the girls said, well, what if some anger is coming up? I said, great, go with it. See what the anger wants to say. See what's coming out. And so they worked with it. And I thought that that was really powerful because later on, when we were kind of like wrapping up this exercise, I asked the girls, or asked one particular girl, I said, did you even know that you had that anger inside of you? And she said, no. She's like, I thought I maybe like had like a tiny bit of it, but I didn't really know all that was there. And I'm like, that's huge. That's huge. So once she knows that it's there, then she can now work through it to like release it, right? But how does your daughter know what's inside of her unless she's doing the work? Unless your daughter is doing her healing work, how does she know that she's feels anger inside? How does she know that she's feeling sadness inside? Because I've said this before, so many of your daughters are suppressing their emotions. It goes, they feel it, it goes, Annabelle, no, not right now. Your daughters, a lot of them are suppressing their emotions because it's too uncomfortable to feel. And so they just suppress it and they don't even know what's inside of them. And so I found this, I'm going to go down here because Annabelle is barking and she's being a little bit needy. So we're going down on the carpet so I can pet her as I do this Facebook Live. So I found it to be really interesting when we were doing the forgiveness work and the girls were having other things come up for them. I thought that was huge. And here's the beauty of doing this healing work, because when they go in there, when they can confront whatever is coming up to the surface, whether it is anger or whether it is sadness, then they can do the work in order to like heal that, right? If they choose to. I hope I'm making sense, but I think this is important because like a lot of your daughters are walking around feeling like all of this anger that they've suppressed. A lot of your daughters are walking around with all of this sadness that they've suppressed, right? And then if it's been suppressed, like what are they doing to make themselves feel better? Drugs, alcohol, sex, cutting, eating disorder? This is the shit that happens when your daughter doesn't address what's going on inside of her. So many of your daughters don't know how to go there. They don't know. And this is what I do in like my private coaching and the group coaching is I go there with them. I show them the way. And the cool thing with group coaching is that they're doing it with other girls, which is really amazing. Casey, let's see what you say. Oh, I feel my daughter thank you for your comment. I feel my daughter has found being angry is easier and more comfortable to her than any other emotion. Familiar misery. Yes, okay, so thank you for that. She's been being angry is easier and more comfortable to her than any other emotion. Yes, and this is really interesting because I have like one girl that I work with and we had a call yesterday and we were talking about like her emotions and we were talking about her getting angry. And I was like, she said, I never get angry, but her emotion is sadness. And she gets sad a lot. She cries a lot. That's her like go-to emotion. So a lot of girls have like a go-to emotion. So Casey, your daughter, is like her familiar emotion is anger, and she's probably gotten really good at it you're saying it's comfortable for her. So that's all she knows. Here's the thing that's so important with this topic. It's like if your daughter has grown comfortable to an emotion, anger, sadness, or we can talk about like what about anxiety, stress? Like so many girls have gotten comfortable living with anxiety and stress. It's not that it feels good to feel that way, but they've gotten familiar and comfortable with it. So how do they change it, right? Like that's the golden question. How do they change it? And it goes back to like, I've talked about this before, and this goes back to if any of you are familiar with Joe Dispenza. He talks about creating a new identity, because the identity that your daughter has right now, like Casey, your daughter has an identity of being this angry girl, right? So to change that, she's got to create a new identity for herself. One that doesn't include her being angry anymore. So what if your daughter can be completely happy? What if your daughter can start like loving her life, right? Without the anger. So who would she be then? And then she has to live from that place. This is how girls can transform their lives. They have to let go of what is no longer serving them and become the person that they want to be. Anger is not serving your daughter, Casey, right? I don't know if she knows that. It's not serving her, right? It's not going to serve anyone to walk around with all that anger all day, every day, right? So to change that, she's got to be willing to go there and become someone who is happy, become someone who enjoys her life, become someone who is peaceful and calm, or whatever the opposite of anger would be, right, for your daughter. And so I think it's really important, like what I saw tonight in Unstoppable You with these girls. You know, we went into this exercise and my intention was we're going to do forgiveness work. And I didn't realize that some of these girls, like other emotions were coming up to the surface. And I was actually happy that that was happening, because it shows that now they can even go deeper. Now they can even go more into their healing, right? Because now they're seeing other layers that need to be healed. Casey, thank you. Let me just read what you wrote. And to just stay solo in your room away from everyone else is her coping. Yes, Casey, unfortunately, like that's what a lot of girls do. That's why, like, I don't know if your daughter would be interested in either Unstoppable You or my membership community that's coming out soon. Those would be great, because there's a sense of community that happens with all of these girls, and it's a really beautiful thing. So your daughter staying solo in her room is not really helping her. So, and you say, yes, I want to help her. Anxiety is horrible. Yes, she's seen as angry and even dresses the black dark part as well. Yes, I saw, I think another mom in here wrote something similar to what you're saying, Casey. And no, it's not serving her, but thinks it keeps others away, and she's good with that. Yes. So thank you so much, Casey, for sharing that. Here's the deal with when you see your daughter's behavior and you're like, oh my God, this is like not serving my daughter. Why is she wearing like black all the time? Why is she angry all of the time? This is not good for her. But here's the problem, like what happens with so many girls is that they become almost like addicted to this identity, and I do it in quotes because the identity of your daughter being this angry person, and this is her comfort zone. She knows this. She knows how to be angry. I don't know how long your daughter has been angry, but she knows this, and she probably does it really well. And so for her to change that, for her to become somebody else that is not angry, like who would she be, right? And there is a payoff. If your daughter is like angry all the time and she's not able to let that go, that means she's getting a payoff from being angry. Now, a lot of this stuff is subconscious. She may not even be, she's probably not even aware that she's doing this, but the payoff could be, who knows? Maybe one of the payoffs is that she's getting attention by her behavior, right? Maybe she gets more attention from you, Casey, or maybe she gets more attention from the family. I don't know. That could be one. Maybe or maybe not. But she is getting a payoff by staying stuck in her life, being, solo in her room, just like you said. So, I mean, really to get herself out of that, it's like she's the one that's got to do the work, Like, I say this to, like, all of the girls that I work with and all of their moms, too. It's like, if a mom comes to me and says, I want you to work with my daughter, like, I just don't start working with her daughter right away. Like, the daughter has to be on board. The daughter has to be willing to do the work. Because at the end of the day, you moms are not doing the work for your daughter, right? You may be tuning in to all of these Facebook Lives, finding them interesting and being like, oh, okay, cool. This is like a lot of good information that Brianna is giving here. But it's just information unless your daughter actually applies it into her life. That is the reason that I come out with Unstoppable You. That's the reason I do private coaching. That's the reason I have the membership community coming out soon, because your daughter has to have the experience herself. Your daughter has to have the experience of what her life could be like, what her life could look like if she lets go of Casey for you, or not for you, but sorry, for your daughter, what her life could look like if she let go of the anger, right? You can only get so much out of that from watching like a Facebook Live, or you can only relay so much of the information that you're getting in this group to your daughter, right? At the end of the day, she's got to let it in and she's got to do her work. And so some of your daughters are ready for that. Some of your daughters are so sick of the way that they're living their lives and they are ready for change. They're ready for transformation. They're like, I cannot live another day like this. I've got to do something. Those are the girls that are hungry for change, and those are the girls that will transform their lives the most. And then we've got the other girls, okay? We've got the other girls that are like, I don't think I can change. I don't know if this is possible. I'm just always going to be this way. I'm always going to be angry, or I'm always going to be stressed, or I'm always going to be anxious. Those are the girls that they got to get out of their way. They're the reason that they are not getting better. It's not anyone else's fault. It's their own, because they're standing in their own way. Thank you for talking. Casey, you're so welcome. They are standing in their own way of their transformation and in their own way of living like their best life. It comes down to this one thing. It's like, is your daughter willing to put in the effort and the work? I work with girls, and sometimes there may be a girl I'm working with and I'm not seeing that much progress, and I have to say, and I have to be honest, and I have to say to them, are you willing to put in more effort? Because if you want to change your life, you've got to do the work. I'm not doing it for you. I'm not in your head. I'm not the one that is doing it. You are. And sometimes like I call the girls I work with like out. I say to them, if they're not putting in the effort, if they're not doing their work, I have to call them out. I'm not a coach just to like be everyone's like best friend and say what they want to hear. I'm here to help girls awaken to the truth of who they are, but also tell them where their blind spots are. Also tell them where they're holding themselves back. Also tell them what they're doing to sabotage themselves. This is why it is so important for so many of your girls to be working with a coach. And if Unstoppable You or private coaching is like way too much, that's okay, because that's why I'm coming out with the membership community, which is very low price. So there's so many things that can get in the way of your daughter really turning her life around. And it's her. She's the reason. She can't blame it on you. She can't blame it on her life or the bullies at school or the boyfriend that dumped her. She's the reason that she's not getting better, but she is also the reason that she can turn her life around. She's it. It's her. No one else. So, Casey, let me just see what you wrote. Yes, I agree. I'm ready and trying, but not sure if she is. Yes, I feel for you. Of course, I love her too. She starts high school soon and doesn't want her typecast how she is now, but I can't change it for her. You're so right. You can't change it for her. I wish she was willing to change. Just be patient. Her anxiety is in her way too. What is the membership committee? Oh, the membership community. So hold on. I'm going to bring you into my kitchen because I have something in the oven that I don't want to burn. So give me 1 second, because of course I thought I was going to do a really short Facebook Live, and you know me, I like to talk, so it's not as short as I thought it would be. So give me 1 second. Okay, good. So now it won't burn, and let me go back. So we're going back. Okay, so Casey, and for any other mom who is interested, so So the membership community, I'm really, really excited about this. I haven't put out the details yet, but it's going to be coming out hopefully, like, I think by Monday I should have everything ready to go, and I'll give out all the details. But my membership community, so basically when I had Unstoppable You, which is my online group coaching program, there were a lot of moms that said, oh, I wish I could do this for my daughter, but it's too expensive, or we can't afford it. And I just started thinking to myself, like, I really want to help more girls, but like, of course, like, I have to charge for it. I can't give this stuff away for free. I mean, I do a lot of free workshops and events and stuff like that, but I need to charge for this. But I wanted to do something that was going to be really inexpensive, so more of you moms could take advantage of this. So leading me into my membership community, which is called, I love the name, it's called, I don't know if I've said the name in here, it's called the Girl Tribe, and I'm just really excited about it. So what it is it's a membership community for girls, where they can come together. There's going to be every month there's going to be live group coaching calls. There's going to be trainings, meditations, visualizations, like things like that they can access in the membership community. They're also, so one of my favorite things about Unstoppable You is the community experience, and I wanted to have that same sort of experience for the girls in the Girl Tribe. So what I've done is, like, the group chat that it's kind of like Facebook, but I don't use Facebook because a lot of girls are not on Facebook, right? So there's an app, it's called GroupMe, it's really cool. I use that for Unstoppable You, and that's how all of the girls and myself stay connected between our calls. And so that's something else that I'm going to offer with this within Girl Tribe. So they'll be part of the group chat. So it's just going to be like a bunch of girls. And really what it is if your daughter is having a bad day, she can pop in the group chat and say what's going on. And then other girls can come in and respond and give your daughter, like, encouragement, support. And it's also a way for me to, like, pop in, and I can give coaching in there as well. And it's been a really, it's a beautiful thing that I've witnessed in Unstoppable You. So that's why I'm putting it in the membership community. So I said something like a little bit wrong in the Facebook Live I did earlier. So I just kind of want to explain, like, the pricing, and of course all the details will be coming out soon. But so the pricing, I'm doing, like, the first month, it's going to be, if you sign up in the month of May, it is $57. So if you sign up anytime in May, it's $57. You're signing for a month, right? If your daughter so it's a 3-month commitment, okay? So if you sign up at that price, you're locked in for 3 months, right? $57 a month. If your daughter ends up staying in the membership community, like in the Girl Tribe, for like a year, she's locked in at that price of $57 a month, like for as long as she's a part of the Girl Tribe. But after May, so in June, the price goes up to $97. And then so anyone that comes in to the Girl Tribe after June, they pay $97 a month. And that's how the prices go. So it's like, it's a crazy good deal. And I wanted to price it at that because I just want more of your daughters to be a part of this, of the work that I do. Because like I said before, Facebook Lives are great. Like, me coming in here, sharing what I know and all of that is great. But like, how much of what I'm sharing with you goes to your daughter, and how much of it is really going to help her transform her life, right? More of what I do for you, what I do in these Facebook Lives is kind of maybe to help shed some light on the work that I do. But really, at the end of the day, if you want your daughter to transform her life, she's got to have the experience. She has to have the experience of what it's like to do this work with me, with other girls. It's very, very, very powerful. I can't even tell you. I do want to say one other thing, like, so tonight in Unstoppable You, oh, Casey, I'll answer your question in just a second. So tonight in Unstoppable You, there was one girl, who was having just like a really bad day. Something had happened with her grandfather, and she just wasn't doing well. And so she left our call, but in our group chat, she wrote everyone and said, I'm having a really a hard day, and so I needed to just leave. And it was so beautiful, and I just want to share this with you because like it was just so beautiful what I witnessed with these other girls. Two of the girls in the Unstoppable You messaged this girl and said the most beautiful things to her. Like, it's okay for you to feel that way. Like, just feel your sadness, like feel whatever you're feeling, and know that like we're here for you when you need us. Like, two girls said that to her, like something similar. And I was just like, it really like touched my heart, like in such a big way, because I think this sort of the connection that I see in the group coaching is just, it's so missing out there. Like, a lot of your daughters may have friends, they may have lots of friends, and they may still feel that like lack of connection, that lack of like, I don't know, like really connecting with other girls their age. And a lot of it is because girls aren't being vulnerable with their friends. And what happens in groups like Unstoppable You, and what will happen in the membership community, is it's a space where girls can be vulnerable, where they can open up. And I feel like for a lot of girls, they need that. It's missing in their life. They don't have it right now. And when they find a group like this, when they find like, oh my God, I can be myself. I can just say whatever I want to say. I can say that I had a panic attack today. I can say that I've been depressed for like 3 days and I'm not going to be judged. I can say that I couldn't stop crying today. I could say that like all of the stuff that has happened to them without being judged. Like, that's huge. And that's the sort of stuff that happens in like the group communities that I put together. And that's why they're so powerful. It's one of the reasons they're so powerful. So Casey, is it primarily them counseling each other? So for the membership, for the group chat, it's a combination, okay? For the group chat, it's me going in there and I'm coaching them, but they can also support one another. So it's kind of like both. But also part of the Girl Tribe is they're going to have access to live group coaching calls. So that's me and the girls, and that's me coaching them. They're not being coached or counseled by the other girls. They're being coached by me. So they're getting coached on whatever they're dealing with, whatever they're having issues or problems or stress in their life. They're being coached by me. So let's see. Oops. Casey, my thought is maybe I'm wrong. Unstoppable You would be where you start, then the group or community. It's either or. It's a great question. So Unstoppable You, like the next one, I'm finishing up. The reason that this one is still going on is because we extended the older group one for like 3 weeks, because I had a mom reach out to me saying her daughter was doing so well. Could we extend it and they would pay more? So long story short, I went to the other moms and their daughters and asked if they wanted to extend it. They all said yes. So we extended it by an extra 3 weeks. So, and then I extended it a week. So it was meant to be 6 weeks, and now it's turned into 10 weeks. So, but the next Unstoppable You is actually, I'm making it 8 weeks. I'm making it longer than the initial one, which was supposed to be 6 weeks. So Unstoppable You could be where you start, but the next Unstoppable You is not till July. I'm not coming out with the next one until July. So if you want your daughter to be a part of the community, she can definitely start that up. She could be in the community and Unstoppable You, or yeah, you can wait for Unstoppable You to start in July. And then after Unstoppable You, she can be a part of the Girl Tribe. It just kind of depends what you want, what your daughter wants, what's best for her. So you can do a lot of different ways on that. So I'm just really excited about the group. I think it's going to be really amazing, and I think the sense of community is something that's so missing. And then of course, like, your daughter is going to learn so many valuable things in the Girl Tribe. Learn how to start loving herself, learn what to do with stress, anxiety, depression, like what to do with all of that, right? There's going to be, like I said, there's going to be like live group coaching calls. There's going to be trainings, pre-recorded trainings that she can access. There's going to be meditations that she can access, like guided meditations. Like, I'm putting a lot into this. And usually, like, my programs, like, I over-deliver. I over-deliver because I'll start a program and I'm like, wait a second, I want to add this, or I want to do this. Like, Unstoppable You was supposed to be 6 weeks, and then I make it into 7 weeks. Why do I do these things? Because I over-deliver. Like, it's not a bad thing. I just, like, when I start working with girls, I, like, my mind starts going, and I'm like, wait a second, I want to do X, Y, and Z with them. Like, I want to do more. I want to do this. So there's always more that I want to add to, like, what these girls are learning and getting from the programs that I do. So I know the Girl Tribe is going to be incredible. Casey, last question. No problem. I'm fine. Last question, I promise. Then I'll research. What is the price for Unstoppable You? So the price is going to be a little bit more for Unstoppable You this go around because I'm extending it, because, like, before it was 6 weeks and now it is going to be 8 weeks. I think 8 weeks is a good amount of time. I like 8 weeks. 6 weeks is a little short, and I want your girls for a little bit longer so we can go even deeper with the work that we're doing. So the pricing on that is going to be, I think it's at $797, but I'm doing things a little bit differently. So that's for 8 weeks. I'm going to do like a 3 payment option plan. So to, like, help out some of you moms that, like, don't have all of that to, like, put up front, I will do like a 3 payment option plan, which I think comes to, like, I don't know, what is it, like $297? And then it would be like 3 payments of that just to make it easier, or you can pay in full. So, and that's going to be limited to 12 girls. So that's going to be opening up in, like, more information will be coming out about that in June. But that's limited to 12 girls, and I do 2 groups. I do one group for 13 to 15-year-old girls, and I do another group for 16 to 18-year-old girls. And it's like, it's kind of like first come, first serve. So the first 12 girls and that are in there, that are paid, are in Unstoppable You. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the Girl Tribe. There's just, like, so many amazing, incredible things that are coming out, and yeah. So I think if there's no other questions, I'm gonna go have my dinner. I'm sending you all so much love. If you watch the replay and you have any questions, like, about, like, some of the things that we were talking about, or that I talked about, as far as, like, you know, your daughter feeling all of her emotions, you know, reach out to me or leave a comment below and we can talk more about it. But it's really, really important that your daughter is feeling all of her emotions, but she's also got to move through them, right? Like, Casey, and thank you for all of your honesty and your vulnerability and some of your shares here, but it's like, if your daughter is stuck in the anger, then she's not moving through her emotions. She's just living in it, right? And that doesn't really help her grow as a person. Thank you so much. Sounds awesome. I'll chat with her and see if she's ready and willing. Oh, thank you so much. I hope she's ready and willing. That would be amazing. It would be amazing. So I was just saying, like, it's not enough to just, like, it's important to, last thought, and I'm going to wrap this up. It's important for your daughters to feel their emotions. So important. Casey, your daughter's feeling anger, right? It's important for her to feel it, but I think what's happening, because you said your daughter is feeling it so much, she's not moving through it. She's just sitting in it. And that's the difference why your daughter is, like, stuck in her life, because she's not moving through it. And and not just you, Casey, but, like, all of the moms that are watching this with all of your daughters, like, when your daughters can learn how to move through their pain, how to move through their emotions, that's when they can get on the other side of it. That's when they can have their breakthroughs. That's where they can let go of the heaviness of whatever they're holding on to that's no longer serving them, right? It's so important. That's why I say, like, so much in this group, the healing work is so important. Most coaches, I'm not like most coaches. Most coaches are not doing the healing work that your daughter needs. A lot of therapists aren't doing the healing work. I just had a girl that I coached today, and she was seeing a therapist before I started working with her, and she told me, like, what the therapist used to tell her when she was feeling anxious and stressed out. Her therapist would talk to her about coming up with different ways to distract herself. In my opinion, that's not enough. That's not enough if you are a very, like, stressed out or anxious person, just to come up with ways to distract yourself. Like, that may be one thing you can do, but you've got to do more than that. And you've got to get to the root of, where is this anxiety even coming from? Why are you such a stressed out person? You got to go there. And so that's why, like, I'm not saying all therapists are like this, but a lot of therapists aren't even going deep enough, right? A lot of coaches don't do that either. So I'm like a rare breed. I do a lot of unconventional things, but this is why the work that I do with girls and young women works. Because it's not out there. It's not out there with a lot of other coaches in therapy. So that is all. I'm sending you guys so much love, hugs, and kisses. I'm going to go have some dinner right now and just relax. Reach out if you have any questions or comments, and I will talk to you guys soon. Mwah! Bye for now.